You will learn how military of doctors and nurses can be effectively used as tool to keep masses of people tapping in the dark, while those are driving themselves insane for decades, not only for years, and in the end reject all responsibilities or financial liabilities to its victims by simply announcing what are now bankruptcies. Oh yes, yes, not only companies, but entire states, countries, states such as Greece, for example, just lately. Soon Spain, etc., or perhaps even entire European Union have now started to declare what are known as bankruptcies. Now, who could settle for such a lies? I mean, that even entire countries, such as even unions, like European unions, are getting bankrupt. When just yesterday, we're talking about daily, about, and even today, about hundreds of billions, like it was not for the money, like it's for the dust. Yes, we will give a package of, I don't know, 300 billion, 200 billion, I don't know, 800 billion, billion here, billion there, billion this. Who can settle? Who can possibly settle for such lies? Who can settle for that? It's a great question who? You, my friend. You and your families who are driven insane. And why? Yes, why? So you freely give up from claiming what is yours, or what was, in other words, stolen away from you. Financial liabilities, my friends. Financial liabilities, money. Financial liabilities for persecutions which have taken place against you and about which you will learn in continuation how was it done. Simply due to quantity of massive insanity thrown on you. And as previously just stated, military of doctors and nurses who have abilities or rights to perform most brutal procedures against non-compliant population. The governmental rights which have authorized them to perform terror in a form of various, from psychosurgeries, electroconvulsive procedures, medicines which simply burn brains, turning people into basically vegetation state, and using them further to terrorize entire societies. Any society which was compliant with what I have stated was and is so-called Western democracy society. Unfortunately, things didn't change at all. Well, how is it possible? We even have a humanists people, and you are talking to us about all of this. And the humanists, the best people to be around with, safest and kindest people, who want to make sure how everyone in this world gets his rights and is doing well? Ha ha ha. Yeah, sure, humanists. Their rights, his rights, yes, sure, but not your rights. Not rights yours or your family of your own. No dignity, no pride, no honor as far as your rights. As far as rights, the only thing you will ever get are what I have mentioned previously. That is why it's important to understand word humanist before we go further. It is important to understand who defends our so-called rights. Not only ours, but most importantly, rights of our children.
Now, I'm not a friend of any conspiracies and so on and so forth. I am probably the most doubtful person in the world, assuring myself like 100 times before I make decision for something. I'm a very, very not very, but the most reliable source, I would say, according to what we watch right now. But in respect to these conspiracy theories, or I should say their validity, I think my testament, my witnessing to what have taken in respect to human rights denial, basic human rights denial, in my case, I believe that tells everything. It tells everything, folks, because it didn't take case only in my case, but it have taken in numerous other cases. Very possible in your case, in case of your family. Yet, when all of you Americans have simply quit on realizing what was taking place due to your allowing the state of neurosis, psychosis, crisis take over you entirely, completely your state of mind, I haven't. It didn't matter that I was told so many times before to think out of the box. You know, one of the forms of American brainwashing is also to tell people or teach them how to think. But the whole thing is nothing else than brainwashing it is. That's all there is to it. This is really out of the towers, not out of the box. Neurosis, psychosis, terror, crisis, jumping. The land of brave and free. Justice and equality. Freedoms. Constitution and human rights. Oh yes, human rights. Yes, right here you can see them. The human rights. In lies and posterity, the United States of America, followed by their puppet states.
So let's look our European history in order to have this question answered. Yes, Americans, our European history or European heritage, which I know you dislike so much, and of course no wonder. It is important to know history or what was taking place for thousands of years against Europe. From Mongolian intrusions and all the way to what is, or actually was, a Byzantine Empire, Ottoman state, today known also as Turkey or Turkish state. Nothing but a military of pedophiles conquering eastern part of Europe or continent for centuries was going on, or I should say taking place, during which exploitations or exploitation of our European children, which were kidnapped by Turkish pedophiles, was the main of importance to empire, or even more precious than loot itself or robberies and violent spreading of Muslim religion among our impoverished European population. So the main goal was basically the sexual slavery, the pedophilia that was taking place against our children. The Ottomans or Turks have used our male kids, our European male kids, as a sexual slaves, or rather homosexual slaves, and at a later period an army of incumbents against our own European nations used during conquests of this continent, therefore against own nations. It's because simply they were physically more developed in proportion to Turks,